remember these. Oh God, I remember. I don't remember these covers, but I do remember these. I never got one though, cause then I'm a bitch. I told you, I'm a bitch. Like what? I swear to fucking, I almost died, y'all. Like, I almost, listen. Y'all almost saw a nigga die on camera. I'm not even gonna open my eyes to see that bullshit, but nigga, I almost died. YouTube, y'all, we coming with the very messed up origins of the hook. But listen, before we get into that, y'all, we hit 2K, nigga, we hit 2K. Listen, shout out to y'all. Listen, it was a grind. It was a grind. I know I've been gone for like maybe 2 weeks at the most, but listen, I got no excuse. Like, I just been living life, just been enjoying life. But we back to it. I think from now on, I'm gonna stop saying I'm back to it. Because every time I say I'm back to it, something happened, I get busy. But listen, I gotta kick it off with something spooky because it's October. So let's go ahead and get to the video. Welcome new people, new subscribers. Let's get to it. Ugh.
Do you like scary stories?
What the hell?
Sorry, do you like scary stories? Because I have an awful one. And the worst part is, it really happened. Its unofficial title is The Hook, and there's a good chance you've heard it before, because basically everyone has. But what you may not have known is that the version you were told is different than what everyone else heard. And if you didn't know that, then you definitely don't know the story behind the story. I don't just mean the string of violent crimes that folklore...
Hold on, real quick. Did y'all know, like, most Disney stories that we hear are literally just really messed up stories just turn light? Like Pocahontas, my nigga, like the true story is crazy. Like there's so many other stories that's in like this that Disney has made that's just literally terrible. Like Tangled, well, they kind of sprinkle a little bit in there, but like, it's still terrible. Like,
experts believe inspired it. I'm talking about the unexpected and kind of hilarious way that this tale evolved from being a local legend to one of the most famous horror stories.
So this is actually real, like real life.
Before we start, I just want to tell those of you who are rocking hook hands or prosthetics that this episode is not meant to mock you or imply that having an artificial limb is scary.
Oh no.
No, you're not. I firmly believe that the only scary thing about a one-armed man trying to scare someone is the fact that he feels his one arm is good for nothing but trying to scare someone. That's why I've always worn this button.
Read the button, mister!
What button is that? What is it?
The only scary thing about a one-armed man trying to scare someone is the fact that
he feels that his one arm is good for nothing but trying to scare somebody.
It's upside down.
Because that's clearly how the villain in today's story felt.
Okay.
And maybe if society hadn't made him feel like a monster, then he wouldn't be creeping around Lover's Lane all by his lonesome. Remember the sacrifice?
No cap, like I know I'm pausing like a little bit too much in the beginning, but listen, that's most stories. Like Jason wasn't really a bad guy. He was just special needs, and people was bullying him, and then they killed his mom, and he felt like he had to kill people. Like if we call it a spade. Most evil people, villains, really not villains. Like look at Thanos. Thanos was really the hero of the story. He was like, bruh, y'all gonna like what happened with Thanos on his planet? They got overpopulated, so he like, damn, like people was starving, people was killing people, all types of shit. So he like, yo, I'm gonna save the whole universe. I'm gonna just wipe out like 50% of everything. So like, y'all ain't gotta worry about that. That's real,
bro. I say thumbs
that's
up
real.
to the algorithm gods, but not literally, or you'll end up with a hook hand yourself. And subscribe so you don't miss the rest of the spooky content coming this month. But while I've got you on the hook, I want to tell you about our sponsor, Squarespace.
Hey, shout out to you. Get your coins. But listen, we did not come here for that. Let's get to it.
On a cool autumn night in rural Illinois, a high school junior named Elizabeth is on her first date with Tyler, a football player in the class above hers that she'd been crushing on since she was a freshman. The official date portion of the night was apparently over though, because as soon as they left the diner, something about Tyler's demeanor changed. He'd been a total gentleman all night. He picked her up at the front door, shook her parents' hands, agreed to have her home by 9, and even paid for her food. Only instead of taking her home like he promised, he took a detour to an isolated road that Elizabeth recognized as the local makeout point. Evidently, he wanted to be repaid for his generosity. He told Elizabeth that she was lucky to be out with a guy like him, and that he would take her out on more dates if she showed him a good time tonight like he did her. But Elizabeth
That's a lot of people problems, bro. A lot of men problems. You think just cause you take a girl out and you do what you supposed to do as a man, she supposed to just give it up? listen, you gotta move. Like, like women know when you trying to like overly do it, bro. Like, just be yourself. Like, if you don't normally open doors, I'm not telling you don't open doors. Like, still open doors. Be a gentleman. Like, nigga, I'm from the South. Nigga, that's what we do. That's what we do anyways. Like, yes, ma'am. Here you go. Thank you. Have a good day. Like, I don't know. Like, up north, I don't know what y'all do, but down here, yes, ma'am. No, sir. Yeah, like, well, I don't know how y'all move. That's just
Desperate to
standard.
change the subject, turned on the radio, just in time to hear an emergency broadcast.
Time to go. Hey, baby.
Residents of
Hey,
Kane
hey,
County
you can
should
give me,
remain
you can
vigilant.
give me over.
At
You gonna give me?
approximately 8 p.m. this evening, a patient was reported missing
Hell
from the
no.
local asylum. The individual is described as mentally unstable, dangerous, and wielding a hook in place of his right hand.
No.
Listeners are advised to seek safety in their homes, lock their doors, and wait for the all clear from local law enforcement.
Now, y'all, if y'all outside at this moment, what would you do? Like, my black ass, I'm telling you, the immediate, and once I hear the and it's breaking news, somebody has, I'm already driving. The car is already, if it was in park, it's already in drive. Nigga, I promise you, I don't care. I'm getting out. Bro, no cheeks is worth of me dying. And if it is, nigga, kiss me at the house. Like, you're not kissing me like this. Nah, like, imagine getting called, me out and everything. Just and what would you do? Like, you're all vulnerable. You can't get no gun. You can't get no gun, no knife, no nothing, because you're naked. You're cooked. Like, that's the worst. I think getting caught up in the shower in an intimate moment, it got to be the worst way to go. Cause like, nigga, give me a chance to defend myself. Like, or like, ooh, even on the toilet too, cause it's like, never.
Now, Elizabeth wasn't sure whether they were really in danger or not. Kane County was one of the biggest in the state, so the odds were low.
Hell
but
no.
she saw her opportunity to play the part of the scared little girl and ask Tyler to take her home. And Tyler, ever the gentleman, ignored Elizabeth's
Boy, you
request.
stupid.
Instead, he lunged forward, like his lips were suddenly magnetized to hers. But his romantic gesture was interrupted by the sound of scraping along the roof of the car. The two teenagers sat perfectly still, with nothing but crickets breaking the silence. But after a few minutes, they let out a breath. It was probably just a branch from the tree they parked under. Elizabeth requested to be taken home yet again, but Tyler responded by mocking her for being scared of a little twig. To which she responded, "That is not the little twig that I'm scared of." Tyler ignored or didn't understand Elizabeth's insult and leaned in to kiss her again. And as she leaned back to avoid him, the scratching sound reverberated through the car. Only this time, it came from the passenger side door. Elizabeth felt danger closing in on both sides of her and instinctively screamed at the top of her lungs. At first, she was embarrassed, but when she saw Tyler jump back into the driver's seat, she had no regrets. He put the car in drive, slammed his foot on the gas, and peeled out of Lover's
Now,
Lane.
Nick, I see y'all. Listen, why we gotta have a honest discussion? Like, why do it take people to see danger to start moving? But the moment I get signs of danger, the breath of y'all, like, I be so on point. I can tell when the air change. So I'm like, nigga, somebody's around me. Like the moment I feel somebody else's breath. And it could be a twig. You could call, bro, y'all. One thing you can't be scared of as a man is getting called a bitch. Cause listen, baby, if we get to make it alive and I'm a bitch, cool. I don't want to be a dead bitch. Like, I don't want to be a dead bitch. I'm sorry. I'm okay. I'm okay. Cause listen. I can act all tough and we end up dead. Oh, listen, I could be the most wimpiest bitch ass nigga in the world, and we could be alive, and you can talk about me at school, whatever, but I'm making it. Y'all, either way, I'm making it out alive. I don't care if you want to get out. Nah, never mind. Cause then if you go missing, the last person you was with me. Never mind. Never mind.
Tyler was
Get
clearly
back.
pissed off because he didn't say a word to Elizabeth through the entire drive back. Even when they arrived at her parents' house, he didn't bother to say goodnight. He just got out of the car and stomped over to the passenger side to let her out. At first, she was surprised he would even do that, but then she realized he was just maintaining the gentlemanly facade he put on for her parents in case they were watching. But as Tyler stepped up to the passenger side door, he froze in place. His face,
The nigga was on top of the
completely
roof?
white. Stuck in the door's handle was a hook. The inmate was that close to reaching them, and had they engaged in premarital sex, they probably would have died that night.
Shit, I would have been cooked, y'all. Y'all know me, I move fast. I move fast. I would have already been back cooked. But listen, I wouldn't go into, bruh, if you're going out in the woods going crazy, you're already cooked. What are you doing? Why is you in the woods going crazy? Like, I'm trying, nah, I can't give you no spots, because then if you get caught up, you're going to be like, he told me to go here. Never mind, nope, never mind. I can't even give you no spots. Hey, you just got to find out, bro. You just got to find out. Listen, I had to. That's it. I had to. I can't just give it out for free. I had to work for it. You know how many times I've been caught by the police? See, chill.
Hey, don't laugh. That's really the lesson we're supposed to take away from this. But you know what? We'll get to that. Because
Okay.
I'm sure there's a few of you cracking your knuckles and getting ready to comment that I told the story wrong.
Oh,
And you
shit.
would be right about that,
I don't
depending
know.
on the version you were told.
I don't know the
The
story.
one I just shared can be found in the first volume of Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, the classic collection that you probably checked out from your school's library at one point, unwittingly traumatizing
Oh,
yourself for years to come.
At first, I didn't remember these. On God, I don't remember these covers, but I do remember these. I never got one though, cause then I'm a bitch. I told you, I'm a bitch. Like, what? I swear to fucking, I almost died, y'all. Like, I almost, listen. Y'all almost saw a nigga die on camera. I'm not even gonna open my eyes to see that bullshit, but nigga, I almost died. Literally, I almost died. Like, I felt my soul, I felt my soul, like, uprise.
That was the version
You bitch. Like, the moment I knew, oh, you mother, ooh. You mother.
I grew up with, but you may have heard it differently. Like the characters in I Know What You Did Last Summer, who run through every
I'm
version
scared
of
now.
the story in about
I'm scared
1
because
minute.
somebody just pop
The
out.
boy goes for help, and the girl stays in the car. She hears this like scratching sound because the guy's been hung from a tree limb, and his feet are scratching on the roof of the
No,
car.
he's been decapitated, and it's the blood from his severed neck that's dripping on the car. This one drip, drip, drip. No, he wasn't decapitated. He was gutted with a hook.
I think
How-
my work here is
how
done.
sharp is a
It was
hook
pretty
to do
funny
that?
actually.
What the-
When I started researching for this episode, I was thinking about all the hook-handed characters in pop culture and immediately got
Oh, bro,
overwhelmed
Crocodile.
with all the
What you know about
IPs
One
I
Piece?
could potentially reference. So I messaged my buddy Zach, who runs CZ's World, one of the best horror channels on YouTube, and I
Okay.
asked him about any standout examples in the horror genre. The first one he mentioned was I Know What You Did Last Summer. You can imagine the look on my face when I watched it that night, only to have all the research I did that day summarized for me in less than 60 seconds. But I should clarify that when Freddie Prinze Jr. says,
Look, you're all wrong.
he's absolutely right. The stories his friends share don't technically count as variants of The Hook. They're very similar, but the inclusion of The Hook is what sets them apart. And I would argue that's a pretty important detail. Because what I noticed during my research is that if the story does end with the death of the couple, or even just the boyfriend, there's no mention of the killer having a hook hand. The stories have a lot of similarities. A couple hooking up in a car in the middle of nowhere,
Yeah.
a radio broadcast warning them about a nearby psycho killer, and a creepy sound signifying that danger.
Nigga, is that the KKK? Boy, what the hell? But hey, bro, I don't know if I just got trauma through like generation trauma, but nigga, what the fuck is this? And it's a white man. Hell no. Shit, I ain't gonna cap, y'all. Ain't nothing scarier than these niggas to me. Shit. I mean, these niggas ain't scared. They just humans behind the damn like cloak. But shit, nigga, I see a group of these niggas. I ain't gonna lie. Hey, if you see these people, hey, I ain't telling you I'm not promoting no violence, but listen, the switch will be used. The switch would be used.
Is a foot. Well, of course it's a foot. It couldn't have been a hand, could it?
Oh,
Now,
what the
full
fuck?
disclosure, I may have missed a version or two in my research, but when you think about it, the couple has to survive the encounter in order for it to be a true Hook story, because someone needs to be alive at the end to discover the hook. But in the stories they're describing, the dramatic reveal is reserved for the discovery of the boyfriend's body or the psycho waiting on the roof of the car. I couldn't find a single variant where the couple is killed and the psycho is described as having a hook hand. He's just your run-of-the-mill escaped mental patient.
Okay.
Adding the hook hand is just gratuitous. Which raises another important question about a plot hole that I'm sure some of you have already commented about. If the hook-handed man was having so much trouble opening the car door, why didn't he just use his good hand? I hear your question and raise you another. This urban legend
My dumb
portrays
ass
a
didn't even think
hook-handed
of
man
that.
as
Like,
incapable
I didn't even
of
think
doing
of that.
something as simple as opening a car door. Is that ableist?
What is that? How?
But seriously, there's a reason that hooks have been the go-to hand replacement since as early as the Middle Ages.
Explain.
It's an extremely effective shape. A hook allows you to hold a variety of objects without a gripping mechanism, like tools and lanterns, and the simple design was easy for any blacksmith to reproduce if you needed a replacement. Hooks also struck that balance between functional, fashionable, and affordable. Prosthetics that actually resembled hands were
I don't know. That's just. Oh my god. That shit. Oh my god. That shit just like it hurt, bruh. Oh my god. What the? Bruh. If anybody out there, bruh, I'm not like if anybody out there that don't have a hand, bro. I do not mean it like that, bro. I do not mean it in a disrespectful way. It's just like that shit just hurts me, bro. Oh my god. Well, I know it's fake though, cause it's like it gotta be like a wood type of hand or something. But Jesus. Right. Also, if I got anybody in here who don't have any legs or arm, bro, and you do have prosthetic, like one, if you're comfortable, can you tell me how you lost it, or was you just born like that? And like, is it? And how do you view it? Because I know some people like, yo, it's a superpower. I love it. Like, so just let me know, like, if you're comfortable. I'm not gonna push you to do that.
expensive on account of being so complicated to design and build, so only wealthy amputees could afford them, generals, politicians, etc. Which begs the question, where do pirates fall in all this? Nowadays, it's pretty much impossible for any movie, TV show, book, or video game about pirates to not include a character rocking a hook hand. But was this as common of a sight as we're led to believe? Would you even be surprised if I told you no? Don't get me wrong, it's absolutely possible that a few pirates had hook hands, but it wasn't 50-50 like Hollywood's made it out to be. Seafaring was incredibly difficult work, and as functional as the hook was, your captain and crew required everyone on board to carry the same load as everyone else, which was objectively not possible for most amputees. The hook-handed pirate trope is actually a somewhat recent development. I'm pretty sure it originated with Captain Hook, who first appeared in J.M. Barrie's stage play Peter and Wendy in 1904. So apparently Captain Hook is a way more badass villain than I originally realized, that he can lose his hand and still survive out at sea while commanding a whole crew. I guess it makes sense why so many pirates since then have tried to match his energy. This tangent's gone on longer than I expected, but the point I started out trying to make is that humans figured out the optimal replacement shape for our hands 1,500 years ago, and are still using it today, which is f***ing crazy. Now, of course, prosthetics today have come leaps and bounds with the materials and mechanics, making them more comfortable, lighter weight, stronger, and...
My bad, it just threw me off. That's it, bro. Stop smiling, bro. Like you being weird, bro. Stop smiling, bro. You tripping. Stop smiling, bro. Like, bro. Like, I'm looking at chill, bro. I'm only smiling because you smiling. Like, calm down, bro. Like, you're doing too much, bro. You
just f***ing crazy. Now, of course, prosthetics today have come leaps and bounds with the materials and mechanics, making them more comfortable, lighter weight, stronger, and more durable, with modern hooks taking on a much less menacing shape, but all of that was built on the foundation laid by the hook hands worn over a millennium ago. But the hook story can't be that old, so where did it come from? Is it really a true story? I'm happy to say these questions actually have answers, and they are not what I expected.
The fuck? Man, y'all gotta stop with all the noises.
Legend or tall tale,
I should have known.
It's nearly
That's
impossible to know for sure where the Hookman story was told for the very first time. Whoa, John, I thought you said it was a true story. It is. Or at least it was inspired by true events.
Wait,
Oh,
what?
f- you. I hate it when movies do that. I know, I do too. But just hear me out. And if you're not satisfied with the payoff, you can take my left hand. I already found a replacement. We have one very big clue regarding the story's origins, and it comes from an unexpected source. A Dear Abby article.
What is
Doesn't
that?
it kind of look like a question
A
mark
Dear
when I turn
Abby.
it like this? Like, ooh, what's the mystery? Dear Abby was a popular advice column that was first published in American newspapers back in the 50s. Readers would send in letters seeking guidance about a predicament they were in, like a cheating spouse or an angsty teen, and the column's founders, Pauline Phillips and her daughter Jean, responded under the pen name Abigail Van Buren. Only the article we're looking at wasn't submitted by someone seeking advice. This kind-hearted young lady wanted to warn her fellow teenagers about the dangers of staying out past curfew to make out with your significant other. And I'm not
I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes you just gotta take the risk. Listen, I know what I said before, but sometimes you gotta just take the risk. There's sometimes I know I'm not trying to promote anything crazy, but listen, like maybe you just get a girl or a dude that just that bad, bro. And you like, bro, I gotta do it. Like she going right now. Like say you might never get this chance again. Who knows? You might take the risk. Hey, sometimes you gotta roll the dice, nigga. Me personally, I'm doing it every time. I'm doing it every time.
On Tuesday, November 8th, 1960, the very same day John F. Kennedy was elected president, the following article was published in the Orlando Evening Star, and it's the oldest written reference to the Hook story that we know of.
Okay.
Dear Abby, if you are interested in teenagers, you will print this story. I don't know whether it's true or not, but it doesn't matter, because it served its purpose for me.
Okay.
A fellow and his date pulled into their favorite lover's lane to listen to the radio and do a little
What the
necking.
fuck is
The
this
music was
piano?
interrupted by an announcer who said there
Oh,
was
turn
an
this shit
escaped
down.
convict in the area who had served time for rape and robbery. He was described as having a hook instead of a right hand. The couple became frightened and drove away. When the boy took his girl home, he went around to open the car door for her. Then he saw a hook on the door handle. I don't think I will ever part to make out as long as I live. I hope this does the same for other kids. Now, my first thought after
Right.
reading this was, there's no way this was written by a teenager. This has to be someone's corny-ass mom trying to scare local teens out of some late-night canoodling.
Nigga said, but no cap, that's not something my mama would do. No cap,
I'm
I ain't gonna lie.
assuming because Makeout Point just so happened to be near her property. It's just impossible for me to read the line, I don't think I will ever part to make out as long as I live. I hope this does the same for other kids, without thinking of that Steve Buscemi meme.
Yeah.
So the sad reality is, there is a non-zero chance that one of the United States' most famous and original horror stories originated
It's
with
cap.
a pesky old lady who couldn't keep her nose out of other people's business.
Sound about
A
right.
Karen. But
Started
there
with a
is
Karen.
also a
Started with a
non-zero
Karen.
chance that the source is legit and Jeanette can be trusted. And the reason I say that is because the danger that she heroically warned her fellow teens about was very real.
Nigga, what is this? What, bro? This creepy
There have
ass
been a
music.
number of Lover's Lane killings over the decades, but one of the earliest
Really?
and most widely publicized was the Texarkana Moonlight Murders. And that's probably the only time I can say the M word without YouTube's bots flagging me. I'm sorry that we can't have an adult conversation and content that's clearly not meant for kids anyway, but that's how YouTube wants us to play the game. As long as I don't get too detailed, I should be able to tell you this horrible story though, which took place in 1946 in the Texarkana region of the US, right on the border of Texas and Arkansas, in the counties of Bowie and Miller, respectively. On the evening of February 22nd, a young couple, James Hollis and Mary Lurie, had just...
I ain't gonna lie, Shawty scared me. What her face at? I ain't gonna lie, James, like he was a scholar. James was pulling back in the day. Shit. I ain't gonna lie, they ain't have no phones or no what's them little BlackBerry or nothing. But he said, okay, James and Mary, I don't know what you got going on. I can't lie to you. I don't know. I can't even see your eyes, your face. So
left the movie theater together. Their date was supposed to be coming to a close, but they weren't ready for it to end.
Okay.
So they found a secluded road just outside of town to park their car and spend some quality time together. away from prying
Okay, calm this
eyes.
shit down.
But while the two were enjoying the cool February night, their fun would come to a screeching halt when one of them noticed a man standing outside their car. He was wearing a white mask that appeared to be a pillowcase with 2 holes cut out of it and holding a flashlight, which he was shining through their windows. Before James and Mary really have time to process what they're seeing, the man holds out a gun and demands the couple exit the vehicle. So they comply. Then he orders James Hollis to take off his pants, and not wanting to be shot,
Shoot me! Shoot me! Shoot me! Shoot, bro. What y'all doing? What y'all doing right here? He gonna have to shoot me. Hey! Do it now. Do it now. Hey! Do it now, sir. Take off like what, bro? See, listen. This go the same thing for the street dudes in the streets that be making dudes strip down. Why? No, you gonna have to do it. I promise you, bro. No. It's not even about embarrassment, cause nigga, I don't care. But nigga, it's just like, why, bro? Like, nigga, you want my, like, he didn't ask for no wallet. He didn't ask for nothing else. He said, take your pants off. Take your pants off. No. What?
James complies. I'm not sure why he wanted James's pants off.
Thank
Maybe
you.
he was just trying to humiliate him, or maybe he was trying to limit his mobility. Either way, after James followed his orders, the man cracked him in the head with his gun twice, fracturing his skull. He then hit Mary with a blunt object of some kind before telling her to run away, only to chase her down and assault her. Miraculously, both Mary and James not only survived the attack,
What?
they both managed to call for help. After the assailant left, James regained consciousness and waved down a passing car and told them to contact police. Meanwhile,
What?
Mary ran to a house a half-mile away from where she was assaulted.
Wait, how do you call police when you don't got phones? Like, how do you get contact with the police? Like, bruh, I'm telling you, I could not move. Like, shit, I probably, man, never mind. I just thought about it. My black ass probably be on a damn, in the field or some shit, bro. What the fuck?
It woke up the residents and convinced them to call the police. Sadly, though, by the time the cops showed up 30 minutes later, the attacker was gone.
Of course.
And his next victims wouldn't make it out alive.
Damn.
2 more eerily similar assaults would take place in the following
That boy's a
months.
hater,
On the
bruh.
morning
He
of
hated.
Sunday, March 24th,
He mad 'cause
the
he can't
bodies
get
of
none.
29-year-old Richard L. Griffin and his 17-year-old girlfriend, Polly Ann Moore, were found dead in Griffin's car, with
What?
both of their bodies showing evidence of being posed after they were killed by a .32 caliber Colt pistol. Then, on Sunday, April 14th, the bodies of 15-year-old Betty Jo Booker and 16-year-old Paul Martin were found on North Park Road,
Oh, they so
which
young,
at the time was isolated and made of gravel. Paul was a former classmate of Betty Jo's and was giving his friend a ride to a slumber party across town after she got out of her band recital at the VFW.
Wow.
We couldn't verify all the details for how their final horrifying moments
I don't even wanna know,
unfolded,
man.
but official reports say that Paul was shot 4 times while Betty had been shot twice and assaulted. By May of that year, the string of killings had put the Texarkana area into a state of panic, and citizens were buying guns and extra locks for their homes. Detectives worked in 24-hour shifts as they questioned 200 people, and at one point they even tried putting out bait for the killer by recruiting teenagers to sit as decoys in parked cars while officers waited nearby. And when they couldn't get teenagers, officers would volunteer themselves, along with some mannequins, to play the part of their partners. Those many months of detective work only turned up one suspect, though: Yule Sweeney, a man whose criminal record included burglary, counterfeiting, car theft, robbery, and assault. He proved to be just about useless when police arrested him, though. He refused to say anything in his interrogation,
Shit is him.
forcing them to resort to truth serum, which completely backfired when they gave him too much and he passed out. But his
Wait, is that a real thing? True, sir? Nigga, if so, why don't y'all use that? Like, to this day. Like, I feel like crime would be so much easier. Like, what are y'all not, if that's a real thing, why is y'all not using that still?
wife Peggy was a lot more forthcoming. She told the police straight up that her husband was responsible for the Booker Martin deaths,
Wow.
and that she was actually with him on the night of the attack. She gave them details about how the couple was crying, how many times he shot Paul, that he drove Betty Jo to a separate location before taking her life. Her most convincing statements, though, were the verifiable facts that would be impossible for anyone to know unless they'd been there. Like that Martin's datebook was thrown into some nearby bushes. So this sounds like an open and shut case, right? Peggy just confessed to one of the murders,
it's multiple
which
people.
would be enough to lock a repeat offender like Ewell up for life.
Okay.
So why did the case remain unsolved? You're probably gonna hate this, but Peggy used the same excuse that the wives of all criminals use in movies. She refused to testify against her husband in court and couldn't be compelled to under Arkansas law.
Deadass. So you watched your husband do that, and you don't testify? Is that even a ride or die or just plain stupid? Bro, bro, what?
Apparently, she and Ewell got married only hours prior to her being arrested by the police. Just in the nick of time.
Oh, so she locked
but this
in.
isn't to say that the couple got off scot-free. Peggy Swinney went on to serve time in jail as an accessory to car theft, the stolen vehicle being how they traced her and Ewell down in the first place. Meanwhile, that same car theft was used to hand Ewell a life sentence in a state prison on account of him being a repeat offender. So while the case was never officially closed, it appears to me that justice was served in the end.
So,
the case had a widespread and lasting impact, though. Thanks to the national press coverage it received, the threat of something like this happening again haunted the minds of America's lust-filled youth and their parents. But as time went on, human nature did its thing. The story was passed from person to person. The authentic details were conflated with rumors and hearsay.
It's kinda like
and in
telephone.
less than a few decades, the story evolved from the Texarkana Moonlight Massacre into the local legend that you heard in your youth. The one that took place
I ain't never
just
heard this
down
story,
the
I ain't
road.
gonna lie.
The one that Jeanette warned us about.
We ain't
You
got
could
no
argue
make out
the
mountains
impact
over here.
was deeper than that, though, because in
Well, shit,
1976,
we got mountains, but I don't know if we call them make out mountains and shit. Man, hey, I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna leave it at
a
that.
horror
I'm gonna
movie
leave it at that.
inspired by the killings
Leave it
was
at that.
released. Titled The Town That Dreaded Sundown, it was a not very accurate,
But what the
critically
hell is
panned
that?
popcorn flick.
A
But it
trumpet?
has a special place in the hearts of horror fans and even gets referenced in one of the most famous horror films
Scream.
ever made, Scream.
God, look at this place. It's the town that dreaded sundown.
Ooh, I never peeped that. What the heck? I'm gonna rewatch that movie
Now's
tonight.
the time where I ask about your experience with the urban legend. Have you heard it before today? And
No.
if so, how was it similar or different than the version I shared from Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark? Let us all know in a comment down below.
This is my first time ever hearing this story. I ain't gonna lie. Pretty underwhelming. I ain't gonna lie. So you mean to tell me that they just, it's like telephone. So throughout years, months, or however long, it just like somebody should add a hook on, and that's what it became. Like, see, that's why y'all. This is why you can't trust people. Like people, I figured it out in school. Like when we was playing telephone, and somebody used to be like, "Yo, I gotta go to the bathroom," and by the time it get to you, it's like the target went down, and he got some Fruity Loops. Like what the. Like what the fuck? But anyway, bro, I love y'all. Stay safe. Let me know y'all thoughts and opinions on this video, and I'll see y'all boys and girls next video. We out. Ugh.